Have you ever considered quitting social media? Yes. If you were stranded on an island and you could only bring 3 objects, what would it be? That's an easy one. I would definitely bring fishing line because I'm going to go fishing, but also you can use the fishing line for snares and all that other stuff. And then I would bring an axe so I can chop a lot of wood. I thought about bringing a machete, but I realized that's probably not a good idea because machetes dull too easy. And then I would bring, what was the other one? Oh yeah, I'd bring a cast iron skillet so I could boil water, I could cook food, and I can do all that stuff. Plus cast iron is absolutely the best thing you could ever bring in any camping or survival situation. If you could find out one thing about your future, what would it be? I would actually just want to make sure Iris is happy. If I could go in the future and then view Iris's life from her perspective and how she was raised and how she is in the future, if I could just see that to know that I'm doing everything right, I would be very happy. Who are your role models? My role models would have to go to my parents. My parents have done so much for me and my sister. I've seen my parents go through, tough times and, I've seen them struggle, but they did their best to make it where we didn't see these struggles. And they also did their best to always jump through hoops or just find ways to make things work even when we didn't have a whole lot. I remember when we were kids and there wasn't a whole lot of stuff to do. We would go out camping or we'd get a canoe and we'd go down river and my parents would find cool places for us all to hang out. They would involve my friends. They would bring a bunch. We'd always have so much fun. And really one of the biggest things is just the way they viewed things, man. They didn't let things just destroy them. They didn't let things just bother them too much. They just found a way to just make the best out of the smallest amounts of things. My mom taught me how to be kind and compassionate, and I think without my mom, I wouldn't be the person I am today. My dad taught me how to be strong and problem solve and always just find a way to make things work. I learned all my skills through my parents, my good ones, my bad ones, all of them. I've learned a lot because of my parents, and I'm very thankful for them, and my parents are my heroes, and they are my role models. If you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be? That's a crazy question. A lot of people ask me this question, but I think if I'm going to be honest, I usually say seafood, and I get that. But I think if I had to choose one thing for the rest of my life, I'd probably choose a seafood gumbo, man. I love seafood. I love gumbo. Throw some rice, throw some sausage in a pot, and put a bunch of seafood. Call it a good meal. I could eat that for the rest of my life. Yeah. Oh, wait, but hey, don't forget, it's got to be a Louisiana-style gumbo. I just think that's the best way to go. Have you ever considered quitting social media? Yes, I have considered quitting social media. Am I going to? No, because I'm going to do my best to learn and adapt and do things a little differently from time to time without changing exactly who I am so that certain things don't happen as much. But I have learned that social media can be a very toxic place, and with social media and with maybe a bigger presence on social media, you start to attract negative things and negative people, and it doesn't even matter what you're doing. People seem to find ways to just pick everything apart, man. But the reason why I've considered quitting was not necessarily because of the hate I received, but it's mostly because of the hate or negativity that others receive because of the things I do, or maybe the small decisions I've made. Something as simple as dirty fingernails or stuff like this, they seem to upset people, and I don't think people don't understand, man. We all grow up differently, and we all have different perspectives on things, and just because I do something one way doesn't necessarily mean it's bad in the grand scheme of things. I don't know. I don't like that people that maybe defend me or, loved ones in my life get backlash from small things, and it might offend them, and it sucks because these people don't deserve negative, and yet you still have these keyboard warriors that'll come back every day. If you know, and social media can be a toxic place for sure. What advice would you give to your past self? I think if I could go back in time and I had the option, I would probably sit down with myself and tell myself not to, and this is a hard thing to say, but maybe care a little less about the opinions of others and stop focusing on trying to build friendships and stuff like that and relationships, because you never know what's going to happen, man. And if you do something dumb, I guess, or you mess up, or you maybe make yourself look like a fool, the biggest worry in my head was people laughing at me and stuff like that. And it's crazy, right? Now I make videos and I'm okay if people are a little upset, or I'll eat a freaking whole peanut just to make, just a little bit of a joke, and I'll do stuff like that. And I kind of highlight it a little bit because I think it's funny. But back then I worried about what people thought of me. So it prevented me from being myself at an early age. And I think that was one of the key things that I was missing, early on. But you don't know these things when you're going through it. So I think I would definitely go back and tell myself, hey, buddy, just maybe don't care as much about the opinions of others, because you'll be better off for it in the long run. With that said, I care about people, and I think it's important to care about people, especially in certain scenarios, because I don't ever want to hurt people's feelings. But as far as maybe looking a little silly, I just wouldn't care as much, and I would have had more fun at a younger age. This is a good one. What advice would you give somebody who wants to be a social media creator? I would tell you to really just, sit back and look in the mirror and ask yourself, do you like making videos? And if you can say you like making videos, then social media is for you. If you're somebody that hates making videos every single day and it's just like a chore doing it, then maybe don't do it, or maybe find a way to make it easier for you, because at the end of the day, this stuff is a job and it does take a lot of work to do. And you gotta really enjoy doing it and love doing it, so it doesn't feel like a job, because I'm staying up all night, all the time. I got like a crazy schedule sometimes. Maybe that's because I could structure things a bit differently, but because I love doing it, it's easy. It's easy for me to get up every morning and try to do extra and do, certain things. But I think also like a good piece of advice would be stay consistent, post every day, and then really don't focus too much on views and stuff like that, because it can put you in a crazy place if you're only getting like 200 views and you can't get out of it. What I would say is keep making these videos and kind of look at which ones do better. Like, go for like 3 months, man. Just make videos, have fun. And if you can do that every day, 2 times a day, make some good videos and like try to level up as you make the videos. Like, look at it. Can you watch it? Are you happy with it? Make sure you kind of critique yourself, because you're going to be your best critic. And then maybe as you start to see a little bit of success, one of the things that I would tell you is focus on the beginning of your videos and stuff like that, because the beginning, the first couple seconds of like even YouTube or anything, this is where you've hooked people and you've got people like interested in your videos. Also, it's different for every single platform. And also, like, no one's ever going to be able to tell you all the answers, because again, at the end of the day, like, it's your personality and like, do you enjoy making the videos? If you enjoy making the videos, people are going to see that, and that's what they want to see. At the end of the day, you are entertaining people. How can you entertain people? That's kind of what you need to do. And also, I touched on this a little bit at the beginning of this question. Make sure you really you're prepared to stay consistent. If you're not prepared to stay consistent and do it every single day, trust me, there's countless days where I'm sick or whatever and I'm still coming out to make videos. You have to be very consistent, at least from what I've learned in social media, and that's what's worked for me, so maybe it can work for you. But stay consistent. Make sure the beginning of your video is, you find ways to make that beginning more catchy, give people a reason to want to watch the entire video. That can be probably one of the most complicated parts, so just play around, make the videos, and just, have fun doing it. And if you have fun doing it, it doesn't matter how long it takes, you'll get there. I created videos for 5 years, and only within the last year and a half have I started to see success. If you could describe yourself in 4 words, what would it be? Compassionate, grateful, because I'm very grateful, respectful, I treat others the way I want to be treated, and positive. I try to be positive in any scenario, so that no matter what I'm going through, I can just, I can get through it. And I try to stay positive. I try to stay respectful to others, and I try to be compassionate because I care a lot about people. And that's kind of one of my downfalls, but at the same time, it's something that I'll never lose about myself. What is something that most of your followers don't know about you? When I was 16, I started a lawn care company. When I was 10 or 11, or maybe a little older, maybe a little less, I don't quite remember, I won a Golden Thimble Award for quilts for kids. I made 2 or 3 quilts, and that was so much fun. Shout out to Miss Rhodes, middle school. And then when I was 14 or 15 or maybe even 13, I won 2 gold medals, man. I was in Taekwondo. Wacha. I did that whole thing. I was sparring, got 2 gold medals and a big old trophy. I ended up taking that trophy apart because I loved the marble slab that it was on, but yeah. I also did a backflip once and landed it, and then I tried it a second time, and I decided I'll never do a backflip ever again. Who was the first creator you followed on social media? Logan Paul. I used to watch him on Vine and stuff like that. That's actually why I started getting into social media, and I realized it would be fun to do it, and I thought I could do it. When was the time you felt like you were at a crossroads, and how did you get through it? When I was 16, I realized that things and people can be very temporary in your life, and I lost a lot of people at a very young age. But what I did to get through it was I really just, I learned that things come and go. And I learned how to accept things that maybe I wasn't very happy with and I felt like I didn't deserve.